Artificial intelligence is no longer futuristic. It's a part of everyday life, from customer service chats to homework help and even emotional support. As more kids interact with AI chatbots daily, South Carolina lawmakers want to set boundaries on how that technology can be used, worried it can negatively impact kids. State House reporter Stephen Biddix has more.
Some lawmakers say the state needs to regulate AI, including what kind of data it can collect and what kind of conversations it can have with children. This comes as we see more of it every day.
The dangers embedded in the rise of AI and chatbots are not the arena in which to give kids free rein.
In a world of evolving technology and the rise of artificial intelligence, Charleston Senator Matt Lieber says it's time to rein it in.
AI chatbots can create emotional dependency and unhealthy attachments. They may manipulate users for profit-driven engagement.
Pew Research finds 67% of teens use AI chatbots, 30% use one every day, and 12% turn to them for emotional support. That worries mother, Kimberly Long.
The chatbots also distort a teen's understanding of empathy by the app's robotic, disconnected validation of everything said to it. That's not real life.
Several Senate bills would block bots from giving kids emotional advice or holding long conversations. The bills would also limit what data AI platforms can collect and sell. Users would have to opt in before a platform could store their data or allow full bot access.
But it does put responsibility on the companies to make sure that their AI is not going to be used in a nefarious way, purposely programmed to do things that are harmful to our consumers.
But businesses and banks are concerned the bill impacts chatbots they use for customer service. Krista Hinson of the South Carolina Retail Association is asking for exceptions.
To make sure that businesses can continue to offer efficient and effective customer service to their customers without requiring additional time-consuming account creations.
Lawmakers did not hold a vote on either bill, so they could make some changes to ensure that the business community does not receive unintended consequences from this bill. They say you can't expect it in another subcommittee hearing in the near future. Reporting at the State House, I'm Stephen Biddix.